We're here to help organisations, business in the UK, to develop products and services to feed this new market that we see emerging in intelligent mobility. What's intelligent mobility? It's about moving people and goods around more efficiently.
The history of the United Kingdom is one whereby we developed most of the world's transport systems that exist today. Shipping, the railways, aviation. So this is a natural place to develop the new methodologies of intelligent mobility, of making transportation work with a rising population and also an aging population. As we all live much longer, we want to give people the freedom to live their lives. But they can't be given the freedom to live their lives when they're in their 90s and they're unable to drive a car properly anymore. But if we can give them the freedom to be able to call up the driverless vehicle to cheaply and efficiently take them to Tesco's, the doctors or hospital or wherever it may be, then we really do have a very bright future for our population as it ages and grows. Britain is actually the natural place to develop this intelligent mobility, and the Catapult has a natural role to bring together the government view of this future, industry's view of this future as it develops, and academia's view of this future. If we hadn't existed, I think somebody would have had to have invented us anyway, because of the juncture we've reached with the development of everything from big data right the way through to the new transport materials technologies that are coming through. In all these areas, the Catapult can help to develop British industrial excellence that we can sell around the world.
I think if I was to capture the essence of the biggest challenge, it is risk aversion. That it's a cultural issue. We don't like failing things in the UK. It's seen to be a bad thing, but actually failure is going to happen. We are developing, leading edge technology, new innovations. Not everything is going to work, and we need to recognise that is a situation that we need to manage and handle and accept. You learn from it, and don't do it again, but you learn from it and you move on. But that is really what we need to embed within the culture of the UK.
In the United Kingdom, historically, we have not been particularly good at interfacing the public sector and the private sector. And there has to be ways where you can help industry to develop and do some of the things that even Adam Smith back in the 18th century, when he talked about capitalism, described as the public goods, the things that sometimes needed to be done to help industry, because no one single company would necessarily do them by themselves. What we're trying to achieve is British industrial success in a future of intelligent mobility. So as we can employ lots of people doing things in the future for other people around the world, and the country can make money out of that. We're unashamed about that. That's what our role is. The thing is, on the way to fulfilling that role, I think will provide a lot of utility and a lot of benefit to the population of this country at the same time. You won't see any pollution. You won't hear very much. Aeroplanes will become very quiet. That's already happening pretty rapidly. You could hear an old-fashioned jet for miles and miles and miles away. That's no longer true. And they also produce a lot of nasty stuff out the back. Already they're virtually producing none of it. Secondly, you will find transport just so much more convenient. If you've ever used Uber, for example, Uber is an app where you can book a cab very easily. You just press the button. It knows where you are. You see the car on a little map coming towards you. It picks you up, takes you. When you introduce that booking technology, let's call it, with a driverless pod in a city centre, whisking people around and transporting is going to be easy. And it means that you can also make much better use of the roads, because these little driverless pods can drive much closer to each other and do it safely. I think that you will therefore see not only greater freedom of mobility for more of the population than we have today, at the same time, you will see people being able to travel much greater distances without it being nearly as expensive as it is today.
Within 20 years, I think it's realistic that information is going to be provided to us all with personalised, relevant journey information for us that we can then exercise our choice of how we want to get from A to B. So autonomous cars could operate like low-cost taxis, which you can rely on and trust, and you just order it and it arrives very quickly and it takes you where you want to go, and you don't have to worry about parking it because it leaves you where you want to be, and you undertake the rest of your journey and it goes off and sorts itself out and services someone else. So I think that's realistic within 20 years. And that opens up all sorts of benefits to society. So quite often we've mentioned the ageing population and people losing their abilities to safely be able to drive. So there is a huge market there because everyone wants to retain their independence, and a lot of people get their independence by driving and having their own personalised mobility machine. Well, that's going to look different in the future, and it'll be a lot safer. So it's forms of assistance and improved accessibility and ease of use. So all of that needs to be a lot easier. So that brings in ticketing, physical accessibility, information, provision to you, trusted so that you know you can rely on it when you're going to use it. All those things, technology and innovation can aid, and again within the 20-year time horizon I think that's very realistic.